We can still proceed with the meeting. We just would have to skip over the voting items. So for example, Preston, you wouldn't be able to review and approve the minutes, but you could continue on with the rest of the items that we're not voting.
Okay, well, then in the interest of time, let's go ahead and just get started. I guess if somebody joins in shortly, would we be able to establish that quorum later?
Yes, so if somebody does join in, then for the point, for both the minutes as well as the meeting, we would acknowledge that they attended and that they are present, and therefore then a quorum would be established.
Well, it actually looks like we've reached our required number, so we'll go ahead and get started then.
And again, you would still have to have a roll call as well at the start,
Absolutely.
just to establish the number.
All right, then it is 6:04 on April 30th, and I would like to call the April 30th, 2024 meeting of the St. Louis County Youth Advisory Council to order. First item on our agenda is taking roll call, which I will hand off to Mr. Huddleston.
Absolutely. So please, if you hear your name, please respond by saying either present or here. Levi. Precious.
Here.
Christina.
Here.
Toby.
Here.
Hunter.
Here.
Elise. Erica.
Here.
Preston.
Present.
Anne Marie.
Here.
Alexi.
Here.
Annika.
Here.
Ajwar.
Here.
All right. Roll call has been taken. Quorum has been established.
All right, thank you, Mr. Huddleston. With quorum established, I would like to approve the meeting minutes of the March 26, 2024 meeting. I motion to vote to approve these meeting minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor of approving last month's meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposition? All right, March 26th meeting minutes are approved. Next, we will move to Ms. Hannah Sherrard with the Children's Service Fund. I believe she has a couple of items that she wants to talk to us about first.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, my name is Hannah. I'm a program officer with the St. Louis County Children's Service Fund. If you're not familiar with us, I'm here to talk about just a couple of things today. So in Missouri, there's a state statute that allows local governments to establish a fund for children's services, and we have one here in St. Louis County. So the Children's Service Fund is part of St. Louis County government. It's a fund that uses a 1/4-cent sales tax for children's services, and that includes things like counseling services, psychiatry, substance use treatment, shelter, things like that. And it funds those kinds of services and grants to agencies that support youth up to their 20th birthday. I'm here because we also support the stipends for all of you to be a part of this group. And so I know that Mr. Huddleston emailed out a reminder to send a W-9 to me. So I have received that from many of you, but not all of you. So just a reminder to do that. And I will send an email to those of you that I haven't received it from, reminding you to do that. Again, it can be emailed to me or mailed to our office, and I'll provide you with that address, or dropped off at our office as well. We could arrange that if that works best for you. So that's one thing. The other thing is that we have a board of directors appointed by Dr. Page, the county executive, and they are the ones who approve all of our funding, and they like to hear from people about the issues that they care about. And in particular, they would really love to hear, from some youth in the county about issues that they care about. Oh, he just really wants to be a part of this meeting. So I know that you all created a report for the county council, and I saw that. And there were several topics in that report that are very much in line with the kind of funding that we provide, like mental health and housing. And so I am making a request if anyone is interested. We have a board meeting next week on Wednesday, May 8th. And again, if anyone is interested, just like 1, 2, 3 of you, if you wanted to share just for like 5 minutes with our board, it's a small group, it would be over Zoom. But it's just a chance for you to share a little bit about like the topic that you care about and the work that you did around it. So again, I'll send out an email, and if you're interested in doing that, that would be wonderful. If for some reason you are interested, but the date and time doesn't work for you, we could plan for a future board meeting for you to do a presentation at instead. Again, can be pretty casual, and I can definitely like email with you ahead of time around like what to talk about, or we could set up a little Zoom and kind of go through it together. But just an opportunity to get in front of more people and talk about the issues you care about in the county. I think that's all I have.
All right, thank you so much. Sounds like a wonderful opportunity, and I do hope that some of our council members are able to join. Let's see. Next up, we have the St. Louis County Planning Department that will be talking to us about the STL Co 2050 plan. So I'll open up the floor to all of you.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute myself there. We can introduce ourselves real quick while I'm pulling up. I'm going to share a presentation if that's all right with everybody. My name is Paul Weatherford. I'm the senior planner for long range planning. I'm here with St. Louis County, and with me is Mel Wilson, the department's deputy director.
Yeah, I want to preface what Paul's about to present to you to say if the planning process, the planning profession sounds interesting to you based on what you hear, we would love to talk about careers in planning and planning programs. So just putting that out there.
All right, can everybody see my screen?
Looks all good over here.
Okay, great. So I do have a presentation, but it's not that formal. So if you guys have questions in the middle of it, feel free to stop me and we can talk about anything. And then hopefully we'll have some time when we're done for a little bit of Q&A if there's any questions that you all have. So yeah, like the chair said, we're here to talk about St. Louis County 2050, an equitable and sustainable comprehensive plan. So sort of first, why is St. Louis County engaging in this? Why are we developing a comp plan? The last time St. Louis County did anything remotely like this, last time the county adopted a comprehensive plan was 1980. So that's, I don't know, I'm not good at math, right? That's 40 something years ago. So it's a little overdue, right? And comp plans are a sort of foundational tool for local governments to guide them into the future, giving them an opportunity to sort of create a vision supported by the community and outline a path to achieve that vision. And so what has been happening in St. Louis County over those 40 years? You can, hopefully this little graphic is advancing for you all, but you can see that the region is, and the county and the region has continued to change. We've grown, we've sort of built out from neighboring the city of St. Louis and spread westward. You're seeing a large expansion into St. Charles County. And so what is needed now is a coordinated policy framework that addresses the conditions that we currently are in, but also is able to unlock a brighter future for our county and for our region. And so what is a comprehensive plan? As I mentioned, they're sort of foundational documents for local governments that really guide decision-making processes, and it looks at everything that encompasses what a community is, right? So from transportation and related infrastructure, how we move ourselves, land use and development, housing, economic development, open space parks, all these things interact together to create the built environment. And the built environment leads to what you see physically when you're out and about, but also has impacts on people's abilities to find employment, to get to the things that they need, whether that's school, the grocery store, the doctor's office, but also has impacts on individual and community health, and things like that. And so what we're trying to do is sort of align existing policies that the county currently has, existing programs that the current county currently engages in, like what Hannah was speaking about earlier, and then look at how can we create new policies, new programs that support the county moving forward into 2050. And so as part of this long-term vision, this guide for development, we're looking at all these different sort of intersecting ideas from housing, the road network, employment trends, existing infrastructure, the economy in St. Louis, what are our strengths, locally within the region, but also, what are our strengths nationally, and then all of that weaves together into hopefully these outcomes. This is what we're trying to achieve going into the planning process, right? We want to create safe and thriving communities. We want a fiscally responsible and equitable infrastructure. We want to increase housing opportunities for all. We want to be resilient to changing physical and social environment, and we want to catalyze growth and opportunity throughout the county. So a little bit about how we're going about doing this, what our process looks like. So I would say we've divided these up into 4 distinct categories, mostly just to for like ease of explaining the different steps and things that we're doing. But all these things are happening kind of at the same time and will continue to happen throughout the planning process. So the first phase, what we're calling learning and talking, we did a lot of this over the past winter. Having stakeholder interviews, talking with groups not unlike yourself, to really learn and hear from the community, what is it that they see in the county, what are the strengths in the county, what are some of the challenges in front of the county, and what are the opportunities that we have in front of us. And then as we've been moving into spring and into summer, we're doing this ideas diagnostic phase, where we're really sort of fine-tuning what we call an existing conditions report, which will be released in May, that really answers the question of where's the county been, where are we at currently, how did we get to where we're at, and sort of establishing that baseline so that we know if these are things that we've done up to this point and it's gotten us to where we are. If we want to be somewhere else, we have to do something else. And so it's really taking a step back, asking hard questions about ourselves that maybe we haven't confronted before, and acknowledging some of the challenges in front of the county. And then as we move into the summer, it's a really sort of, let me take a step back, actually. Still in the spring, we are launching and have launched our community outreach public engagement program. You may or may not have seen something related to St. Louis County 2050 when you're out in the community. But this is our opportunity to talk with residents, community members about how they feel about the county and where they want to see the county go. And we'll continue doing that, and we'll touch on that a little bit more later on. But in the summer, going into the fall, we're doing a really sort of robust kind of technical analysis of you know, we answer the question of where the county is. We've talked with folks about where we want to go, where we want the county to be. We have sort of our own ideas of where we want the county to be. How do we get there, right? So of all the different paths the county could go down, whether that's new policies that are implemented, new programming, you know, strengthening existing policies or programs, what moves the needle the most to get us to where we want to be by 2050? What has the largest impact? But also sort of the other side of that coin is what's going to be the most easily achieved, what's going to be really difficult to do, and which ones are worth doing no matter how hard they are, right? Or at least trying to do. And really kind of identifying what are the different trade-offs for different paths that the county can take, and what would that look like? And then in the fall and moving into 2025 is when we kind of put it all together, create the plan document itself. But I think sort of more important for us is a really strong implementation plan. There's, you know, planners, you know, I think I can speak ill of us a little bit, you know, being one. We tend to, historically, planners create really great plans. They have really great ideas, and you know, pencil meets paper, but then rubber doesn't meet road, and things don't happen, and they just kind of, these ideas sit on the shelf, right, and collect dust, and we don't move forward. So our thinking is that we're going to spend a significant amount of time, starting in the fall, moving through the first quarter of 2025 into the second quarter of 2025, developing a really strong implementation plan, creating, you know, outlining what program, like a new program could look like, you know, developing new policies, strengthening existing relationships and partnerships with entities and other political subdivisions and jurisdictions outside of St. Louis County, forging new relationships, and really creating sort of the next step for how we turn the plan into action, right? And so what we've been doing so far, this sort of investigating the state of the county, and figuring out where we're at and where we need to go. I think the central key takeaway is that what happens in the county is critical to the future of the entire region. A lot of times, you know, in the news media or pundits or whoever you're listening to, they talk about, when they talk about the region, they talk about the challenges in front of the region, the opportunities in front of the region. They talk about the city of St. Louis. And this is not to say that the city of St. Louis doesn't matter or that it's not important. It certainly is. But I think what we've found as we've been sort of diving into this, is that the true center of the St. Louis metro region is St. Louis County. We're the largest county in the state. We're the largest economy in the state. We're the economic engine of the region. You know, near 1 million people live in St. Louis County. That's almost half of the people that are in the St. Louis metro area. And then within the county, you know, a full third of those people in that land is unincorporated, right? So some of it is the narrative that we, you know, the way we talk about ourselves, as St. Louis County, is that we do have a lot to offer, and that the things we do have an impact. We can lead by example a little bit, on things like equity and sustainability, and we shouldn't shy away from that. And these are the things that we need to, you know, we need to be sort of taking to heart when we make any sort of decision in local government. So I want to talk a little bit about what we're doing right now, how we're engaging the community. We have currently a statistically valid survey that's it's hit mailboxes. We've been getting responses. That's really gonna give us a good baseline, statistically valid baseline of resident view, opinion of the county as it currently stands, and areas of opportunity where the county could be doing more. We've launched our public engagement effort. We were at the Earth Day Festival. We were at Kirkwood Farmers Market last weekend. This upcoming weekend, we're going to be at the Valley of Flowers in Florissant, and we have a fairly filled calendar, as much as my staff doesn't like it. Maybe they got some busy weekends ahead of them, and then we're continuing to have these stakeholder conversations with key partners. We also have a website, stlouiscounty2050.com, that we encourage you all to take a look at. You can engage with the planning process there. There's a brief community survey that you can fill out, a mapping exercise as well that you can do. You can also like sign up for updates, stakeholder interviews. We do have some upcoming in the next week or so, sort of topic-based focus groups to talk about the existing conditions report that we're creating that will be launching in just a few weeks, to really kind of ground truth a little bit what we've found and sort of our key takeaways and make sure we're on the right track. We have these engagement stations, so you might have seen these. They just went up last week. So we're in all 6 of the county's rec centers. We're in 19 different county libraries. We're at these 5 different transit centers that are in the county, and then also the St. Louis County Department of Public Health, their health clinics. So if you see these out and about, they're not staffed. It just has materials for people to engage with the plan with, really direct them to the website, kind of pique interest amongst the community. And then tabling events. This is us at Earth Day, and you know, the Kirkwood Farmers Market, like I mentioned, and some other activities we'll be going to. So with that, that's kind of where we're at. If you scan the QR code, it'll take you to the website, or you can do that after the meeting. But what I kind of wanted to do, and one of the key reasons we wanted to talk to you all, is traditionally, youth are a really hard group a really hard demographic to engage with. And we were hoping to get ideas from you all about how can we talk to your peers, how can we communicate with them, what's going to resonate with them, what's going to get them excited, interested in this planning process, and sort of creating and designing a vision for the future of their community. And, you know, knowing that, you know, finals are creeping up, the end of the semester is near, but we're interested in talking with people throughout this process, right? So when we you know, come back out in the fall with a plan document saying this is what we heard from everybody, and this is sort of the different paths we came up with, what do you all think? We want to have those conversations with you know, you all and your peers as well. So so yeah, we wanted to solicit feedback from you all about how we might go about doing that. If you have suggestions, and if you don't have any today, feel free to send us an email, or, you know, engage with us on the website. But also, we wanted to get you all on the website as well. Sign up for updates. You know, share with your networks. Provide feedback directly about what you think the future of the St. Louis County should be. What are the challenges that you see in front of the county, but also what are some opportunities? What are some things that we could do differently to move the county forward? So with that, I'll stop talking and turn it over to you all if you have any questions.
Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to jump in and let you know what we're up to, because some of the things that you've talked about we're grappling with currently in our own work. I know from my 2 groups, we have 2 additional groups that include the other half of our council, but in my 2 groups, we've been working with looking at voter turnout and policy advocacy and that type of engagement. And we come back to how do we reach the youth of the county and get them involved in our local government. So one thing that we've come back to in my groups, and I encourage other people from the other groups to share as well, but we come back to social media and reaching young people where they are at in the form of going to social media like Instagram, like Snapchat, those kinds of places to just kind of get the message out and let the youth know what you guys are doing, how you're working for them, as well as how they can engage with you and providing surveys, giving information on where to be for your local community sessions, stuff like that. But I'll go ahead and yield myself and see if anybody else has other ideas.
I'll say our group was kind of on the same sentiment that Preston's was. You know, a lot of the youth, including me, is on their phone all the time. So definitely reaching out through Instagram, putting people on blast for events. And another idea our group kind of had was youth service programs that are a little more incentivizing. You know, when a lot of people think about youth programs, they think, oh, boring government. But I think if we can kind of flip that narrative in a way with maybe more enticing events such as like first music festivals or art exhibitions to kind of just lay the foundation for getting involved with the community, and then switch to service programs with potential incentives like credit hours for school or just something along those lines, just to really get the youth more involved in terms of like motivation to actually participate. Because I know just getting over that barrier is at least half the work for engagement.
Yeah, those are great ideas. Yeah. Well, I think that's all we had. Mel, I don't know if you wanted to add anything, but please check out the website. Share it with your networks as you see fit. And then if you ever have any questions or ideas that you want to share with us, please reach out.
Yeah, and you might have said this, Paul, but on the website is also the calendar of where we'll be for the next couple months doing a lot of the like tabling style events. But then we've yet to schedule our sort of more public town halls. So that will be an opportunity yet to come as well. But we really appreciate you guys having us and hope to have you guys participate.
All right, thank you so much. We appreciate your time and your expertise on this. So thank you so much, and hopefully we'll be able to hear from the both of you in the fall.
Sounds good.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, so next we will be moving on to our final item of the agenda. Mac, you may have to chime in on this, but I believe that we're going to have to nix the approval of our brainstorming documents because we had some issues with groups turning in their documents.
Okay, yeah, you can certainly table that until next meeting. There's no reason that you need to have it today. So if you would like to, then you would just, you can move on to the next agenda item. You can discuss it and not, talk about approval today if you wanted to give those groups more time to get more information.
Perfect.
But yeah, whatever you want to on that.
Okay. Then I just wanted to open up the discussion and see if there were any major issues regarding the groups with civic engagement and then the community service group as well. We just kind of wanted to know where you guys are at and how long you think you might need to be able to get the documents turned in.
For the civic engagement, we should be able to turn that in today.
Yeah, we started on like the proposal, and I think we just had some miscommunications, but I think we're basically there.
Perfect. Okay. And then is anybody on the community service group here at the meeting?
Yeah. I think we just had some issues. I just shared our report with Dewan.
Okay. Then I believe Dewan, you have to get those approved, correct?
Okay, there I am. So the ideal is that once I receive all of the submissions, then I would then combine all of the reports into a cohesive unit, and then the plan was to get it out to everyone for review, prior to the meeting. So then once we come together again at the meeting, so in this case it'll be the next meeting, then you can move forward with, motioning to approve or not approve. So, so yeah, the sooner the reports are in, the sooner I can begin, kind of getting them combined, and ask any questions that I may have. So then, definitely by the next meeting, uh, we should be able to take a vote.
Okay. Well, then for those two groups, let's plan on getting those documents in. If you can tonight or sometime this week, that would be probably preferred by Dewan. And then we can go ahead and vote to approve those documents next meeting. If anybody else has any other questions or needs any clarification on anything, I'll just open that up for right now before we move on. But yeah, I didn't know if anybody had anything else. All right, then we will move to scheduling of the next meeting. So I'm going to suggest a date of May 28th at 6 p.m. Are there any other preferred dates or dates that would be better for other members? Okay, in that case, I will motion to vote to implement the suggested date of May 28th for the next meeting at 6 p.m. Do I have a second? Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposition? Okay, the next meeting will be on May 28th at 6 p.m. I then motion to adjourn the meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor to adjourn, say aye.
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 All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you all, everybody.
Alrighty, sir. It's just the two of us. So if you just want to end the recording and end meeting for all, we are done.